welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to finish off our discussion on stock valuation. The first thing to do is to do a quick problem with preferred stock. Now preferred stock is what we also refer to as stock with zero growth, as we saw at the end of the last video. The formula for that is P0 equals D1 over R, where D1 is the dividend yield of the preferred stock, dividends paid out by the preferred stock, and R is the rate of return. Now how do we calculate this D1? So let's just do a quick problem. Preferred stocks are usually referred to as percentages of their par values. So you would have, for example, what we call, let's say a 9.5% preferred. That's how it would be. Stated in a question, for example. Let's say it has a $100 par value, and your rate of return is 11%. Now, how do we calculate what D1 is? So it's actually very simple. If it's a 9.5% preferred, that just says it's 9.5% of its par value. So you would simply do the calculation, 9.5% of 100, and that is $9.50 per period, or whatever it is. So that $9.50 is actually your D1 over here. So the way to calculate the price of this preferred stock, the intrinsic value of this preferred stock, would be 9.5 divided by R, which is 11%. Make sure to put the percentage in. So this you would just do on a regular calculator, and the answer to that is $86.36. That's how much you'd be willing to pay for that preferred stock. Let's do a quick example with common stock, just before we move on to our discussion of common stock valuation with supernormal growth. So let's just do common stock with normal constant growth. So let's say a company is expected to pay a dividend let's say of $2.75 annually. Okay, everything on annual basis. Let's say the market rate of return on this security is 13%, and the market price is $29.80. So here we're actually being given P0 as $29.80, and the question over here is, what is the expected growth rate? So here's the question. So let's try and isolate the variables first of all. This is very important. Expected. Now this is a future. Word. They are expected to pay a dividend, which means that right now we can isolate this 275 as D1, because that's the dividend they're paying next period. If it said the company have just paid, i.e. past tense, then it would be referring to D0. However, over here they're expected to pay a dividend, so we're speaking about D1, the dividend next period. We said the rate of return is 13%, we said the present value of the stock is $29.80, growth rate, so that's G over there, so that's G, here is R, here is P0. Now, what formula links these together? Well, we know that P0 equals D0 times 1 plus G over R minus G, and that is the same as saying D1 over R minus G. Now we have this, 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 and this, so let's write P0 equals D1 over R minus G. Now let's plug in. P0 we have is $29.80 equals D1, which is $2.75, over R minus G, which is 13% minus G, which is exactly what we're looking for. that's it. We just have to rearrange this and find G. So let's do it. It'll be done as follows. You bring up this 13% minus G next to 2980, so 2980 times 13% minus G equals 275. Then I would bring down the 2980, cancelling these out, so we're left with 13% minus G equals 275 over 2980, and then proceed to rearrange very easily to say that G equals 13% minus 275 over 2980. And if you do that calculation and follow it through, you should come out with G equals 0.0377, and that equals 3.77%, and that's your answer right there. So now we've done two problems for common stock and preferred stock, and really they just lead on in the same way. Remember, if you were to get a question which was speaking about past tense, they would be giving you D0, and therefore you'd use this formula. But it's really just a matter of rearranging all of them. I think we'll leave that for now, and we'll get to supernormal growth stocks next time, which will conclude our discussion of stock valuation.